So I'm about to share with you some of the most powerful ways that you can start to lose that lower belly fat, that love handle area, and that lower back fat that as we get into our late 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond, only seems to get more and more stubborn. Over the past 15 years, I've helped over 7,500 guys, similar to yourself, who have a lot going on that are just sick and tired of taking their shirt off and feeling uncomfortable with how they look and ultimately how they feel. So in today's video, I'm gonna knock out 3 of the most powerful ways that you can start losing that stubborn belly fat, starting with number 1. Okay, I wanna share with you 2 crucial analogies that I know saved me a ton of headache once I was able to wrap my head around how stubborn belly fat and lower love handles and lower back fat all work and relate it to something that we'd all understand, right? These are 2 analogies that you'll never forget and you can bring up at your next party if you want to look like the weirdo talking about losing stubborn belly fat, but I think you'll like these. So we're totally going to cover some major nutrition tips, some major workout tips. So just bear with me because I think this will be the first thing that needs to be understood that will make everything else so much easier. So the first one is what I call the toilet paper analogy. And I can't remember exactly who taught me this one, but it was huge. When I was 65 pounds overweight, feeling like I wasn't seeing any progress, this one, along with the next one, just resonated with me so much. So in my house, toilet paper is a real valuable thing because we have myself, my 2 boys, and my wife, okay? And so I swear to God, every few weeks, there's this moment that happens where, one moment I'm putting a new toilet paper roll in the bathroom. Anytime you use the toilet paper, it's like, wow, there's so much toilet paper. And then one day you sit down to use the bathroom and you go to pull the toilet paper and there's not a whole lot left, if any. And it just seemed like it happened like out of nowhere, right? It was going. There was no change to the toilet paper roll. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. This is how stubborn belly fat works, especially if we lock in to a system that is guaranteed to get results. There's going to be stretches of time where you don't feel like anything's happening, right? You see no noticeable changes to the belly fat, the love handle, and the lower back fat. It's just like there all the time, despite you doing the work. And then one day you take a progress photo and you're like, whoa, I actually lost some belly fat. When did that happen? I swear this is how it works because we're so used to looking at ourselves in the mirror every single day and not seeing progress. We get frustrated. And then one day, as long as we keep going, boom, it's gone. Now that's the first analogy. All right. Really important for you to remember that. The second one is the pool analogy, the draining the pool story. Okay. So let's just imagine you have a pool in your backyard full of water. And then one day you're like, man, I got to fix something on the surface of the bottom of the pool. All right. And in order to fix it, I got to drain the pool water. But what if you thought, man, the only area that I need to fix is this, like, it's at the bottom of the pool. It's in a little corner. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to swim to the bottom of the pool. I'm going to take a huge measuring cup and I'm just going to scoop out the water from the bottom of the pool and just drain that little area. Well, people would look at you like you're crazy. They'd be like, no, that's not how it works, man. Like when you take out that scoop of water, the water is just going to slowly come down from the top until eventually you're at the bottom of the pool. You're going to have to drain the whole entire pool, in other words, okay? This is how draining the pool works. Now, this is how losing body fat and belly fat works too. The body is wired to lose belly fat basically from the top down and the bottom up. And the middle section, for guys especially, and honestly some women too, is the last to go. It's the last to leave. Why? Because it's the most crucial belly fat that your body carries. It protects all the vital things that are in the middle of your body, from your heart, your lungs, your liver, your stomach, all the things that need the most protection. So if you think about it too, survival wise, we need our limbs, our legs and our arms to be the leanest parts of the body because we use these all day, every day, right? So back in the day when we were really focused on survival, we lived off the land. There wasn't the processed food aisle in every grocery store on every corner. We had to have body fat in the areas where we were most susceptible to danger, most susceptible to attack. And since we were walking, we were using our arms more, we were more physical in our day-to-day structure, our day-to-day labor, our limbs needed to be the leanest. So our bodies just evolved over time. okay? And over this period of time, we've just started to store more fat in the area where our body's just wired to store the most. And so when we lose fat, it's unfortunately our body loses the fat first in the areas that are least important. All right. So our face usually gets leaner, our neck, our wrists, right? Like, and we're just like, why is this happening? I just want to lose the midsection fat. Well, it's because that area is the most important. So these are the two analogies you'll never forget. All right. The toilet paper and the draining the pool. Remember, you're going to lose the fat. It just won't happen typically first. It requires more time and more consistency over a longer period of time. All right. Now, I could just end the video there, but I'm not. I actually have a whole system. I call it our before and after photo system. It's so detailed. In fact, I put it together in a whole cheat sheet for you, and I actually dropped it in our free community last week. Or if you're watching this in the future, it's still there. Don't worry. Just comment the word team below if you want my whole 5-step system to turn you into a crazy before and after photo. I'll just send you the link. Comment the word team in the comments, and I'll send you the link to that because it's going to outline a lot of what we're going to cover in this video. But in this video, we're going to get really specific. But if you want that program, just comment the word team. All right. Now, I've been working with clients for the better part of 20 years. It's been a long time, since 2004. All right. This is 2025. So it's over 20 years now. One tip that I always give new clients who come into our program is I want you to train your core like you train your biceps. Why? Because most people don't train their core with resistance. Now, I'm not saying you can just jump right into this. We might have to work up to this, okay? But when we train our core muscles, which aren't just our abs, we're talking about our lower back, our glutes, our core, our abs, our obliques, and we train those areas with weight, they're going to build more definition, right? We're going to see more definition in the stomach area. Why is this important? Well, a lot of guys start to get leaner in the midsection, but they don't see the abs start to pop out. Why? Because they're not training these areas with any kind of resistance. They're just maybe doing some crunches here and there, but they're like, yeah, the diet's going to get me chiseled out, right? And yes, the diet is really important, and we're going to talk about that in a second. But we got to train our core with resistance because as you get leaner, you'll be able to see ab definition sooner had you not trained your core muscles with resistance, right? So my suggestion, start hitting abs 2 to 3 times a week with some weight. You don't need to go crazy high reps. Do 8 to 12 reps just like you would any other muscle group. And I promise you, you'll start to see ab definition sooner than you would have if you had just focused on the diet and training your entire, rest of your body. I'm not saying, the diet's not important. It is probably the most important, but this is a little hack to get you a little more definition faster. Okay. So let's talk about the next big thing with losing stubborn fat. Now, I have a list here that I put together. These are some key items that are going to help you with what I think is the most important factor long term, and that is controlling your cravings, controlling your stress eating, so that you can stay consistent with your diet long enough to get the body fat off to actually have less stubborn fat. All right. The time factor is important here. So what typically throws people off? Well, it's not being able to control their nutrition. All right. So what is the first thing? Well, let's talk about cardio. Let's talk about movement, as we call it in our 3M system. Movement needs to be primarily focused on walking. Why is this important for getting rid of stubborn fat? Well, stubborn fat, number one, is going to take time, and it's going to take appetite control. So if we're out there doing crazy amounts of cardio, busting out hours on the Peloton, doing long runs and all this stuff, I'm not saying those things don't fit somewhere in some fitness plans. They definitely do. But I think if your main goal is to just get rid of the stubborn fat, walking at a rather normal pace, maybe some walking with a weight vest, maybe some walking on an incline treadmill for sure can help. But overall, your primary cardio and movement strategy should be walking. Why? Because it doesn't jumpstart your appetite like crazy. Okay. It's not taking your appetite to new levels, that are just absurd, that you're not going to be able to stick with, and you're not going to be able to control. When you do large amounts of cardio that is intense and, you're sweating, you're out of breath like crazy all the time, I tend to see most people struggle with appetite post cardio. They want to eat a house, right? They want to go berserk on some wings and some nachos or whatever, right? So we're going to talk about how to set up your nutrition here in a minute, but this is really important. I think your primary version of cardio that you focus on should be movement. How much movement? Well, it depends on the person, right? It's what we do in our program, which, by the way, you can check out in the description of this video below if you're interested in our True Transformation System, which has been helping guys for the better part of 20 years. This is very individual dependent. A general rule of thumb is to track your steps for a week, see where you are, and add 20% to that. Okay. And then we build from there. So most guys end up falling in the range of 8 to 15,000 steps a day. I know that's a huge range. Average is about 10,000 steps a day. And so if you're just starting out, my number one tip for you is track your steps. Let's see where you are. Let's see how much you move, and then we can build off of that. All right. Okay. So number two, and by the way, I have an enormous amount of free courses in our free community for guys, including this one, which is our before and after cheat sheet. And I even have our grocery list that is like guaranteed to get guys ripped and keep guys ripped, especially as they get older in their 40s and 50s. If you want access to that group, it's free. All you got to do is write the word team below. If you're watching this, write the word team and I'll send you the link. All right, cool. Next thing, fasting. Now, I love fasting. I've been fasting for, the better part of probably 15 years now. Maybe a little under 15 years. We'll call it 12. But fasting is not magical, but it does do wondrous things when it comes to controlling your appetite. And that's the name of the game with getting rid of stubborn fat. We got to stay under control when it comes to our food. So we got to control our appetite. Fasting for me allows me to eat more when I'm normally more hungry. Later in the day for me, okay? So I like to eat a big dinner around 6 to 8 o'clock at night. Somewhere in that range is when I eat my biggest meal of the day. Doesn't mean I don't eat throughout the day. I eat typically a moderate sized lunch, okay? A snack in the afternoon, like a protein bar, protein shake, something like that. Then I'll have a big dinner. And if I'm still hungry, I'll save 300 to 400 calories for after dinner to crush another protein bar or a small dessert of some kind that's relatively healthy, okay? But I save at least 1,000 calories for dinner. Okay, at least. Now, I'm not a small guy. I'm 215 pounds as of today. So I eat more food for sure. I've built some muscle over the years, so my metabolism is, relatively good. But this can work for everybody, okay? Because I have literally seen guys in their late 30s, 40s, 50s, even 60s use fasting to simply eat more when they're more hungry, right? Why fight against your times a day that are hungrier, right? Why fight against the need for some stress management food at night? Why fight against it? Use it to your advantage. Okay, so set up your schedule so that your food, your primary large meals are happening when you're typically most hungry. All right. Now, let's talk about muscle. Muscle is obviously going to help your metabolism. I've talked about this on a number of videos. But what should we be doing training wise to keep our appetite under control and build muscle? Well, I think smart, heavy training is where you want to focus. We don't need large amounts of volume, right? Hundreds of sets. We don't need that. 1 or 2 working sets per exercise, 3 to 5 exercises per workout, 3 to 4 workouts a week. Keep your exercise, your muscle time under control. You start blasting through a bunch of sets and reps thinking you're burning more fat, your body is going to respond by needing more recovery. And guess what? That's going to jumpstart your appetite, right? I've seen it happen more times than I can count. Guys who come to me who are like, man, I just can't lose fat. I'm like, well, let's take a look at your schedule. Well, I'm trying to train 5 days a week, for 90 minutes. I'm like, what's really going on? And typically they're like, well, I'm hungry all the time. I can't seem to control my food. So let's cut back on the training volume, give you what your body needs. Okay. You don't need to do more than what your body needs to build muscle and maintain muscle. And all of a sudden your appetite starts becoming more under control. Super, super important. Now I'm going to share with you a couple advanced things. One is peptides. So I know Ozempic and semaglutide are all the rage. And honestly, I'm not a huge fan because I think there's better stuff. All right. I think there's better peptides out there for guys who really struggle with this whole appetite control thing. I'm actually putting together a whole peptide cheat sheet inside of our free community. All you got to do is comment the word team below this video and I will drop you into the group for free, give you the peptide cheat sheet. It's coming out like within the next week or two. So get in now so you can get it. Peptides, when used appropriately, can help with appetite. Ozempic is the big, name out there right now because it's in the mainstream and everybody's using it. But there's more stuff out there that's even more powerful that I believe is actually even safer from my own research. And obviously, do your own research. I'm not telling you to take peptides, but I think for certain people, they can be a nice supplement to all the stuff we've talked about, from the movement, muscle, and the meal strategies. You got to have those in place first, right? I think you need to have mental and actual accountability support as well. That's why our coaching business continues to grow and thrive, because that's what people really want, is that human connection, right? They want someone who is there for them. They want a community of like-minded people to help them push through the tough times. It's not always easy out there, right? We got a lot going on, from our careers, our families, our schedules, like our travel, the stuff we do, being in different places. Like, you need to have a team in your corner, but the right team will also give you the right tools. And I think some of the peptides out there are some really exciting tools. We're actually going to be getting ready to partner with a peptide company soon, because this is exciting stuff, guys. Like, this is really cutting edge stuff. I'm not saying it's necessarily magical. In some cases it might be, right? But there's some really good peptides out there that I'll be happy to share inside our group. Comment the word team below and I'll send you the list. All right. Final thing with appetite control is sleep. All right. Sleep is so underrated, guys. Like, I can't tell you how many times people have come to me and been like, I'm doing everything right. And I'm like, well, tell me about your sleep. And they're like, I don't sleep. So yeah, my appetite sucks. And yeah, I have days where I just want to eat everything, and I do. And I get it, because I'm right there with you, right? I get it. Once you master sleep, a lot of things get better. All right. Your energy gets better. Your mental clarity gets better. Your focus gets better. And obviously fat loss gets better. You start to lose those stubborn belly fat areas because you're just putting in more time. All right. You're putting in more time. So, I'm going to leave you with a couple thoughts here, because I want to wrap this up. I hope this video helped. Let me know, what are your trouble spots? What are you dealing with right now, fitness-wise? Let me know in the comments. Are you dealing with anything specifically when it comes to losing stubborn fat that I can help you with? Drop a question. I'll be happy to answer. The other thing too is, you got to have proper expectations here. Most of our clients who come in our program lose about 20 to 30 pounds in the first 3 months. And for some of you, that might get you to a place where you're like, wow, I look incredible. My waist is gone. Like, I've lost all ab fat. For some of you, that might just be the first part of the iceberg, right? We might have to lose 50 pounds to get the belly fat off. And I don't want you to come into this with any kind of down, like negative type of feeling. I want you to come in with a positive expectation that if you just put in the time and you find a system that you can stick to forever, that's not hard, it's actually easier than you ever thought possible. And you just put in the time, you're going to get to the point where you feel great about how you look in the midsection. But you got to have the right expectations. It's more than likely going to take you longer than you thought, but that's okay. We can save you a lot of headache by giving you free resources inside of our community. If you comment the word team, I'll give you those. Or you can just check out our program and you can invest in yourself and actually get accountability, support, that human connection, and the roadmap. Like, no nonsense, no frills, give you the no BS approach that's been proven to work for over 7,500 of our clients. It's just totally up to you, right? What is the next step for you? And I think the big thing is the mindset of, hey, I'm going to change how I operate permanently. And over time, I'm going to get all the results physically that I want. But you're really going to get what you're really after, which is a longer life, a higher quality life, more intimacy with your wife, more confidence in how you look and feel, and that energy to chase the things you want, right? So you don't feel held back by your body. You can actually go do anything because you're physically healthy. Hope that resonates with you, and hope this video helped you understand some of the dynamics around losing that belly fat, losing love handles, and all the annoying fat that continues to stay stubborn. I promise you, it just takes more time and a system. The system I share with you today. Don't forget the analogies: toilet paper, pool, and thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Life moves fast. Make it count. Talk to you soon. Peace.